if we were to enter executive session, can we have a discussion regarding the town manager's performance? And I'm asking all five of us personally, can we have that discussion where I will give my reasons for why I think what I think? You can disagree with me or disagree with me and so forth and so on down the line. Can we have that and be sure with each one of us that we're not making a decision or saying things that's going to construe as a vote when we're in executive session? Because if we can do that, I'll make a motion to go in executive session right now and we can discuss it.
I would fight going into executive session tonight. It's still the same thing. It's an end run. It's a, look, we're going to chop your head off, hold still.
On top of which we have not given proper notice.
Right, there's no notice.
There's no notice required for executive session.
With your
Well,
That's fine. I mean, I
time.
think it's a done deal. I think that people have made
All
up
right.
their mind.
Okay.
They're nodding. These people have already decided this. So whoever he talked to in the past, however they communicated with each other, it's done. So let's just vote and get it over with, because it's not going to get any better. No one's going to give any substantive information here. It's been talked outside,
But
however
we
it
could
was.
give information in an executive session. Why are you going to vote against that?
I would vote against an executive session because we have no information.
Well, you get information.
Right, but we have no information now. Nobody's had
Yeah.
time to prepare anything, to think about it, to make decisions, but other people have already decided. I mean, Mr. Farley's
been
already
many-
decided.
many years.
Right, he's already decided, so there's nothing to talk about.
We can talk about that.
Going into executive session is not going to change anything when people have already made up their mind.
That's-
So all they can do is try to talk those of us into it who have not
No.
had time to think about this. And the ones that have already made up their mind have already made up their mind. I mean, it's pretty clear. I see the faces. It's pretty clear. So unfortunately, I would have to agree that we should take a vote and then move on with whatever we have to do, including potentially, in my personal opinion, dealing with the lawsuit. Because this is totally, totally unprofessional from our side, sitting right here in this seat. What we are doing, what we are considering doing, I find totally unprofessional on every single level, every single level.
okay. I'm going to ask a question. I know there is the motion on the table. There's also a motion to call, or the move to call the question. I want to ask a question. Would we be amenable to tabling this until the May meeting to give everyone a chance to gather their thoughts, put together written comments if they wish, and then we hold the executive session as Tracy has suggested here?
And why not have the executive session now? I don't understand this.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't had a chance to
The
find
point
it.
of that would be that
I understand, Bob, I mean, Bill, that
Yeah.
you're trying to help, but I can look at the faces here.
Okay.
Decisions are made.
All right,
I mean, I don't agree with this. I think it's outrageous, but the decisions are made.
okay.
Tracy, you said you wanted to hear,
The reason.
Well,
What-
I have to say,
I'd like
from
to
a,
hear, too.
from a personal standpoint, I would like to hear, but I look at faces here, it's decided. So we need to take a vote and we need to move on. Because that's exactly what they want. And I find, like I already said, this is totally unprofessional. And this is not what I was elected to do.
I personally have no problems tabling it until May, having an executive session, as long as the 5 members of this board understand we have to be extremely careful with that discussion in executive session to not make any decisions in private.
And
That's
for-
right.
in that way,
And that's what we've done in the past.
I understand that. I just, in looking at this,
the decision's been made.
You
So
know.
going into executive session doesn't help us.
well, it would help us understand each other, Tracy. Come on.
Yeah, but I unfortunately don't think there's much for me to understand. I'm
So your mind's
looking-
made up too?
No, my mind's not made up. My mind is looking at the
Interesting.
situation as a whole, in that we have somebody who's a longtime employee, that all I've heard is rumor as to why people might or might not like him.
has nothing to do with liking somebody.
Okay, so it has nothing to do with liking him, but at no point in the last year, and I've been here for almost a year, have I heard anything that tells me that this person is not doing the job that we hired him to do.
Well, maybe you'd like to hear several sides and several people's testimony before you make up your mind. I mean, I think having an executive session would be an important thing to do. If it's tonight or May, whenever, it would make me feel more.
Oh, and it'll help us with the lawsuit too, because this is totally unprofessional. It is. He's laughing
Well,
over
you
here.
talk-
No, I'm just
It's
laughing at-
totally
Tracy, you want to talk
unprofessional.
about unprofessional. You want to see the allegations that have been brought against me, okay? And you know what? That time spent bringing those allegations against me is time that the taxpayer didn't have the town manager doing his job, okay? So you want to talk about lawsuits, it's slander, okay? There's all kinds of information that I can go and press if I need to press. It's a major issue behind the scenes, and Bill's been involved with it, okay? Bill has.
But unless at some
Bill
point.
never came to me in any way
But
to
unless-
find out about the property issue. Bill never came to me to find out about the police officer. I've got all that
But
information.
unless,
So if we want to,
Mr. Peabody gets a chance. to
Well, what about
defend
me?
himself,
What
That's
about-
fine. I don't know about these things, so you're telling me these things now. I don't know.
Well,
I
Bill
haven't heard
knows
of
about 'em.
But let me finish. The point is that if you get to come out and tell us how horrible you think he is.
I didn't say it was horrible. I just said it was
That's what you're
unbelievable
saying.
that those
I
things
know,
are
you're
going on
saying
behind the
it's
scenes.
horrible.
Okay,
That's what you're
okay.
saying. But Mr. Peabody
I think we need,
All right.
a chance
Rockport needs a change.
Okay,
So, I mean, the minds have
I
been made
believe-
up. I mean, that's what we're sitting here
I
dealing
would like to
with.
suggest that or move that we have an executive session in May.
we would need a motion to table this until the executive session in May.
No, we need a motion to
Yeah, we'd have to withdraw the
I need
motion.
to withdraw my motion to call the question if we're going to table it. We've allowed a lot of
Right.
discussion beyond the calling the question, which is way out of
Yeah.
Robert's Rules of Order. But I will withdraw.
Well, I
my-
had
will-
to clarify.
I understand, but we then
what
went
we
to
were doing.
discussion about the original motion, which is completely out of order with Robert's Rules. But I will withdraw my motion to call the question so that we can entertain the discussion of whether we table this for the April meeting.
Who seconded that? You withdraw your second?
To call the question, I don't know
Call
who
the question.
seconded to call
I
the
don't
question.
remember.
I think it's going to cause more issues and pain for the town. It's going to, I look at this town and I say, I've been here all my life, and the one thing that I just don't understand is it's a small town, and I just don't understand why we can't have somebody that, and this has nothing to do with the present town manager. I think what I would be looking for in a town manager is somebody that can
But,
come up.
okay, Tom,
Yeah,
that's not
this
the
is-
issue here tonight.
Bill,
Okay,
not what
do
we're
we
talking
have a
about.
motion
It is.
to
You guys, you
table
can
to
ramble on
May?
forever.
Do we have a motion to table to May executive session?
To table,
no, we would need to table the issue to May and also have an executive session.
Okay,
But does Tom have to withdraw his second?
That, we didn't know who made
Well,
the second when I called the
oh,
question.
she looked it up. Tom made the second. You withdraw it? You draw the second.
To call the question.
Withdraw the second to call the question.
I made a motion to call the question.
Right.
You seconded it.
Yep.
If you withdraw that and I withdraw my motion, then we can have a discussion about whether or not we table this to May.
I really don't, I think it's painful to table it to May.
So you don't withdraw your second?
No.
And we'll have to vote on the motion to call the motion, yes,
The question.
the question. Thank you. All right, Landrith,
4.
Murphy?
Against.
Wait. Okay, well,
We're calling the question,
yeah,
right?
let's clarify what we're doing here. This is to call the question.
Correct.
Okay. The motion is, I'm just making sure I got it clear in my
I
mind.
made a motion to call the question.
right.
So 4 would mean you want to call the question, against would mean you do not want to call
Yeah,
the question.
thank you. Thank
Sorry.
you.
It's
So
getting
let's
late. I
start
was
this
trying to
again.
help.
Landrith,
4.
Murphy,
Against.
Fogel,
for,
Farley,
4.
Chapman against. It passes 3-2. So we now must vote on the motion, the original motion, which was not to renew.
Would you like me to reread my motion? Or are we clear?
It was,
Okay, it's fine, I just
yeah,
wanted to
I
make sure
thought,
I
it
had it
was-
written.
to me,
so-
it's very clear. We're not renewing, we will not renew the contract on June 30th.
I'd like to make it clear that my motion is to not renew the contract. My motion has had no allegations towards the performance or anything else with that current employee. My motion is to not renew the contract.
Okay.
There's been a lot of things said in the discussion, and I want to make sure that that is clear.
Okay. It has been moved and it has been seconded. We have had the motion to call the question. We are calling the question. Landrith,
4.
Murphy,
Against.
Fogel,
Or.
Farley,
4.
Chapman against.
I move to adjourn.
I second that.
Okay, we've got things to sign. I'll call that. Landrith,
4.
Murphy,
Or.
Fogel, Farley.
4.
Chapman, 4. Okay, we have things that we need to sign.
You're officially adjourned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Dale and seconded
By Tom.
by Tom. Make sure, okay, that one. These are the, okay.